Wait, you're gonna go
And
live?
we are live here at season 1,
Uh,
episode 29 of Crashing Activities. And here we're talking about the top 20 worst people of all time. But, anyways, let's get on with this. So, coming in at number 20 is Thomas Paine,
Goodness gracious.
which converted Reading 2100 to burn oil. I can show you after when I look him up.
I am very. I'm.
You're annoyed by
I can barely
Thomas
hear
Paine
you.
converting 2100 to burnt oil? Well, that's how he looks like. Look, look what he did to our best friend, Reading 2100. Look what they did to my girl, 2100. Look at this, Manuel.
Um. Elijah, I cannot
I'm
hear
back. I'm
you
back. Sorry. Oh,
one
my mic was muted.
single
Sorry. I
bit, bro.
apologize. I apologize. I apologize. My
So,
mic was muted.
Manuel, you
Yes.
see Edward Thompson. He's one of the worst people. He converted the Reading 2100 steam locomotive to burnt oil.
What?
That's him.
What?
Because Reading
He's that. Oh,
2102.
you know what, Alicia, is that fine if I say this word? Is it fine if I say this word? It's not an offensive
Yes.
word. It's not a bad word. He is definitely taking a piss.
And also
Okay,
Reading,
guys,
and also Tom Paine,
how's
Thomas Paine, he converted the Reading 2100 steam locomotive to burnt oil because it was such a stupid idea. And
Honestly,
also,
why would
Reading
you do that?
2100 is an anthracite coal burner. And in
Okay,
case,
Why would he do that? To be honest,
explain to you about anthracite coal burners, how they work. So, anthracite coal is a much is a coal that is used and it burns much slower compared to the more bituminous coal that all the coal-fired steam engines burn, especially for the Reading and Central River, New Jersey, because those types of locomotives need a wide eight booty cab with a firebox. So the anthracite coal burner will burn much slower, right, Manuel?
yes, I actually researched about that. To be honest, and honestly, everyone says he's one of the worst engineers ever. I've
And
seen
this
Ralph
is
Fender say
Reading
that.
2100 steam locomotive. It
Oh
looks
my god, and
good,
they
but
ruined
when
that
it
beautiful steam engine
but
slide.
but
Why would
that's
you
how
do that?
they ruined
I can't
they
hear
completely ruined
y'all.
this.
Honestly, can you mute your mic or something?
Y'all mics are
Yes.
literally lagging on me. Y'all
Oh,
just say one word and they all just go
okay. I know what to do. Rejoin,
like
like
that.
leave and join back. Leave and join back. Maybe it'll work.
Okay,
Yeah, do
I'll
that.
try.
Just leave and join back.
So let me tell you about. Uh, let me tell you about how Paine. Thomas Paine. So Thomas
Wow,
Paine,
he actually
he
died in
was born in
2017. Wow.
1949, and somewhere in our and then
Alicia, were you saying
And
something?
then in
Sorry.
1995, oh no, this ad. And then he also married Bonnie Pedersen in 1970. They had three children: Lehi, Shawnee, Rebecca, and Amelia. They had a
Hmm.
long marriage and were separated in 2002, which means that they are divorced. In 1986, Tom established Western Railway in Canada. CWR eventually became Rail Link, earning the title of the father of short-line railways in Canada. In 1995, holy Santa Claus Christmas, in the name of God, Jesus, and heaven in the Bible, Thomas Paine acquired the Reading 2100 steam locomotive and just did to it. So, you call that a T1? That's not a T1 at all. That looks more like a horse-paled abortion. Right, Manuel?
Honestly, it does. To
And
be
then he
honest,
converted the locomotive to burn oil. You can't do that. And it's much less to the
why?
prototype.
Why would you?
It's
Why
like
on earth would
mixing
you do
oil
that?
and water.
Why would you? Mixing it's dude. There's no scientific fact about that. Burning that thing would
And
just
it's like building a
using
brand
oil
new
instead of
replica of
coal. It's not gonna make steam. That's why it's called
and also
steam
it'll make the locomotive
engines.
worse. And and
Exactly.
also it's like building a brand new S1 duplex from the rails up while it was a failure because one is already enough. Because too much is
It's like if you're
so
replacing some wire
stressful.
signals and then you put the wire in the wrong position, causing accidents like the Clapham Junction, for example. The reason why is because it's like like how bad it
and
just
it's
went from
awful,
building new
and it doesn't
signals
really
to awful
result in some kind of. And so,
mechanical problems.
what I'm trying to say, I mentioned earlier, is that the Reading T1s they were designed to build anthracite coal, which burns much slower compared to more common bituminous coal that other coal-fired steam engines burn. I
Hmm.
mentioned earlier. And don't forget the name Paine in front of Thomas. And did you know Thomas Paine? Oh, his first name has the same name as Thomas the Tank Engine, but
Oh
they
yeah,
called him
basically
Tom,
yes, Tom. Yes.
just like Tom from Tom and Jerry. Well, I don't mind that, but the word pain, it sounds like the word pain, like a person
Yeah,
being in
like
pain.
pain, like
And don't you
something
know
that
that
you're
this
hurting about.
is even
Yes.
a bad sign, Manuel?
That's a bad sign after all. A pain, like I know it's not the actual pain itself, but it's just like pain, like something out
And
of.
when Payne converted the 2100 to burnt oil, he didn't do a very good job, where he did it incorrectly and wrongly. The
Oh yeah, he
absolute
definitely did
worst,
something
worst,
wrong. To
worst,
be honest,
worst
he
he did.
definitely did something
And
wrong. I'm not
mainly
gonna lie.
because the boil pressure kept dropping drastically, and it actually weakened 2100's performance.
Oh yeah, it definitely did. To be honest, I'm not gonna
And as
lie. I'm
it
not gonna
that
lie there.
and as a cherry on top of the cake of poop, the whistle sounded atrocious as a result.
Oh yeah,
And not
I
only
heard
that,
someone said
but
that. To be honest, I didn't even know if that was
Well,
true or not.
why
To
put
be
a ditch
honest.
light below the headlight? Why put a ditch light? And not only that, but and just look, that's the Reading 2100 steam locomotive and the Canadian
Oh
National
man, bro, I
5700.
love these steam engines. To be honest, bro, I love to see American steam engines because American has so much. Even the companies,
But
Union
but
Pacific and
when
the others.
2100 was converted to burnt oil, nah. And not only that, why would you put a ditch light below the headlight? And I can
A
understand by
ditch
putting
light?
it
Oh
above
my
the motor
god!
front.
Why put a ditch light if you have a headlight
But
light? You
why
know?
below the headlight? It kind of looks awkward to me, and
Yeah,
it looks like it has two number
someone just
plates.
literally just took a crap on your artwork or something like that. You know?
And
But you don't get the
also,
picture, but you get
and
it.
it looks like it has two headlights too.
Yeah,
And in
exactly. It
paint,
looks
it
like
tended to
two
use these
headlights instead of
engine
one
at
light.
the
You know?
Central Western Railway or in Eastern Canada, but those plans never came to fruition. And then it
I know.
moved to Tacoma, Washington, where it ran for a season.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. Honestly, I'm actually so surprised he didn't even get fired. Honestly, did he get fired in the end
Right.
though?
Here. And then in
Did Tom Payne
19
actually
and
get
then in
fired anyways?
2014, the 2015 it was the 2100 was leased to the American Steam Railroad Preservation Society and moved to the former Baltimore American Steam Railroad Preservation Society and the Midwest Railway Preservation Society and the former Baltimore and Ohio Rail Roundhouse in the flats of Cleveland and Ohio, where it is presently being restored to running condition alongside the Midwest Railroad Preservation Society's Grand Trunk Western 218 Mercado number 4070. As of 2023, number 2100 is still being restored to operation with plans to revert it back to its freight livery. And who is currently rebuilding the poor T1 properly? This means converting it back to anthracite coal, which is so great, and re-lettering it back to a Reading livery. Right, Manuel?
Yes, definitely.
And as
Hmm.
opposed to that weird Ferroicus thing on its tender. Well, I don't
Exactly.
mind the red stripe, but Ferocus, it doesn't make no sense. For those who don't know, Ferocus means iron horse and black. You understand, Manuel. That's the Ferroicus tender. Hey, you're Luna and I'm Manuel.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, listen, like I do want to mention another person. Actually, can I mention him? We're in number 19.
You should talk about it quickly, and then I'm gonna talk about another bad
Gotcha.
person.
Okay. So let's talk about this man. Okay, this man right here. His name is Captain Iranis Hervanis. For those who don't know him, can you share my screen, Alicia? There you go. Okay, this man is Captain Heranis Heranis. Yeah, honestly, he sounds. So let's talk about him. So who is he? Well, he was a 40-year-old captain, and he had wide experience on everything. So he was the most proudest ship members in the entire world. However, on August 3rd of 1991, he was sailing a ship called the Oceanos. And an Oceanos ship is actually hold on, let me just find the picture how it looks like. The ship is a second. The Oceanos ship was like this ship here. Let me just stop sharing my screen right here. I'm just gonna post it here. Give me a second. Just give me a second. And
Yeah.
there it is. This is the Oceanos. It is a Greek luxury passenger, and of course, you can see the captain's name. See, Iranis Heranis. Of course, on a trip of August 3rd, 1991, the ship was supposed to leave from South Africa, to East London to the other city of let me see, what was the city going to? It was heading towards from I know it was heading towards from Lost from from Durban, yes, from Durban of Africa. However, the ship, however, there was a problem. At the time of the ship departing, the ship
And also,
encountered
don't
some
forget to
waves.
mention that Shane O mentioned that Canadian National 5700 looks like 6060 without the streamlined bullet nose body, and I wish there was another bullet nose engine. Well,
Okay,
the one of the reasons why the Canadian National wasn't the biggest fan of Hudson's is because they focused on the mountain types and northerns. But imagine if they streamlined their Hudson's, it would be nice. The same with Pacifics and Berkshires if
okay,
they actually had
okay.
them.
Anyways,
Now
let's get
imagine
back
a
to the story.
streamlined Berkshire and American North
I'll
American
try.
Railway.
I'll
It would
try
be
making it
nice.
quickly for you guys. I'm trying to make it quickly, not to make that kind of much of a story. So the ship was
And then
supposed to
I'll
leave
do
the
number
gate.
18, which is Sam's.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Anyways, so the ship was supposed to leave like around 3 o'clock p.m. Right, just a normal time. But however, the weather, however, that day was different. It was very stormy. And of course, like the captain probably, you guys probably would imagine the captain, like say, oh, like there's some strong waves. We should probably wait until the weather's, better. Wrong. He did not do nothing. Instead, he departed the ship and left the ship and drove the ship towards the town, of course. He took a ship out in the ocean with raging waves and the storm. That was a terrible thing to do, especially towards the captain. If I was the captain, I would definitely just leave my ship there. Like, don't go to the storm. Don't do that. Just stay. Like it's better for safety for everyone. Of course, everything was going fine until the
It did
ship
not.
encountered
It did
huge
not work.
waves. Yes, the huge waves, because remember the storm, obviously the storm makes the ocean waves big. Like how waves you see in the beach or in the ocean. Well, yeah. However, these waves were not like small waves that we see on the ocean or on the beach. The waves are big. They were monster waves. We call it monster waves, for example. And of course, the ship, however, did had something else. One of the waves hit one of the loose holes of the ship because the ship had some maintenance problems at the time and they couldn't fix some of the bulkheads of the door. And because of the waves, one of the waves hit the ship, causing some bolt compartments of the ship to start flooding. And of course, in a quick Wikipedia search, you could see here say that the ship sank because of uncontrollable flooding. And it was true because the flooding was going into everything. Like the flooding actually hit the engine room of the ship. And because of that, the whole entire water, like the pipes, like the pipes from like the sewer systems that we see, well, that seawater started heading towards up to the cabins. People noticed that there was something wrong with the ship because the toilets were overflowing, the sinks were overflowing, the showers, like you name it, everything was flooding. And of course, the smell was worse. And this isn't sewage water, by the way, it's seawater. So, because of that, the seawater is now getting up to the ship and sinking very, very fast. At this moment, Captain Heranes got the word of what was going on inside the engine room. Of course, he knew that the ship was sinking. However, instead of telling people of what was going on, he did something, one of the most cowardly things, and I probably might rage, but I have a rage meter, so I'm just gonna calm down. Okay? So rage meter, please
Calm
show up.
down. Take it. Breathe in.
Okay, let's do this.
And
Okay,
then after that, number 18 would be Hunter Yeltsin, the one who
well,
kissed a girl
let's
in
talk
school on the
first. Like, let's
hand.
talk about what happened though. Like, here's the part about why I don't like about him. He
Make quick,
literally
make it quick,
abandoned
make
ship
it quick,
with
and tell
all
us about
600
Hunter Yeltsin.
passengers still trapped inside. Literally. Anyways, because of this, the ship was starting to list. It was starting to list. The captain decided to put lifeboats. His crew, however, he did not stay on board the ship. However, he did stay on board, But when the helicopters arrived to rescue some of the passengers, yeah, he was determined to get off the ship. He was pushing everyone around, telling them, saying, "Hey, hey, pick me up, pick me up." And literally, one of the like the crew of the helicopter literally picked him up, took him to shore, and of course, he was radioing the Oceanos, telling them what's going on with the rescue. And honestly, that was one of the most cowardly thing ever that I ever seen about this man. An interview by him, he did say something like this. And is this fine if I show a clip about it? It's like a little clip.
Yes.
Is that fine? Here's a clip about what he said. To be honest, and honestly, well, you don't have to see it, but like you could just tell why I'm mad at him. Look,
If some people they like to stay, they can stay.
that was honestly one
Hey,
of the
you
worst
should.
I've ever seen before. He just says that he just said like people could stay, they can stay.
I
Like,
hate him.
why would you do that? Just like, are you kidding? No, I'm not gonna rage. I'm not gonna rage. Okay. But yes, but
Don't rage like
luckily
Jenny or
everyone
like
was alive.
Remy.
Everyone made it out alive in the sinking, however. Everyone made it out alive. No passenger was killed. All 600 of them survived. Now, honestly, that's a miracle. Like, literally a miracle. I've never seen that kind of a shipwreck that had no
Bro.
casualties at all. That's a miracle, to be honest. Researching this incident, honestly,
Alan
I
is
thought.
on his way home.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, so honestly, I think he was honestly a bad man. Do you think he was? I think he was. He literally
Yes,
didn't
he
do
was a
what
bad
Captain
man.
said. He was a bad man. He left 600 people to die on the
That is
ship.
irresponsible. Because once you're
Honestly,
at
yeah.
your job, if you actually do this during your job, do you think your boss is gonna care? No, he's not. What's gonna happen?
I
It's
mean,
gonna happen.
no,
It's gonna
no, no.
happen.
He
It's gonna
didn't
happen.
care about
You're
his
gonna get
boss.
fired,
He only cared about himself. To be honest, he was a selfish man.
and you'll get sent
Selfish.
to court and get executed.
However, with that case, however, he wasn't brought into trial. However, he was not brought into trial because remember, nobody died in this incident. If it was people that did die, however, he probably would have been a trial. To be honest, honestly, like I just think he's honestly a bad man. You know, he doesn't deserve. He does deserve to have so many people hate on him. To be honest, you know, he deserves it. He
So
literally just abandoned the ship to
did he
everyone.
die?
No, he just, however, he was fired. That's the thing. I remember I researched about him, and he was fired from his job as a result of the
What
incident.
on what date?
The date. Let me see. I'm searching it up. I'm searching him up. Okay, so he was. Listen, this is his age. He was born in 1940. Honestly, he was born in
Same year as
1940.
my Ukrainian grandma,
Yeah, and of
grandpa,
course he was, and of course,
in
like
New York Central, 2001, in
according to
GG1
here,
number
it says here. It says here.
49.
Look, of course, you know, like the captain of the ship, the Elvis Condores, the head of the owner of the Oceanos who owned the ship, a cryptic line, also known as the Greek ocean liner. They, of course, you know, like they were obviously mad at him. The company of the Oceanos literally wanted to sue him because of his actions, his negligence against saving the passengers. Of course, people say this, you know, because look, at the time of the incident, he was an officer for 20 years and a seaman for 30, and he was married to a British national, Devon Arena. Yeah, yikes. Anyways, for him, he's still alive. He has not died yet. However, however, fired from his job. That's the thing. You know, he was fired from the job, which honestly, he deserved it. He deserved it. He almost literally just almost killed those people on board. But if it wasn't for the cruise ship entertainers that still
You should
stayed
not
on
do,
board, they
bro.
rescued everyone on board. Like that's a miracle, to be honest. Literally a miracle, honestly.
Hey, train guy 4916.
And honestly, and
Anyways,
right
I'm ready
now,
to talk about Hunter Yelton.
honestly, yeah, to be honest. But honestly, I think that
So,
man
Hunter
is honestly a
Yelton,
disgraceful. He's a disgraceful person. He
and
should just like,
disgusting and despicable
yes,
and
exactly.
detestable.
Reminds me of Blue Nose, to be honest.
Let's talk
Remember Blue
about
Nose?
Hunter Yelton. So, in case if you
Reminds me of
don't
him.
know who Hunter Yelton is, in December between so on let me check the date for December 9th, 2013, because that's the exact same year and 10.5 years of Hunter Yelton's suspension from Canyon City, Colorado school. But spoiler alert. So it was on Monday, December 9th, 2013, because on this Monday, December 9th, 2013, Hunter Yelton is just 6-year-old student from Canyon City, Colorado School at Lincoln Science Technology Elementary School in Kinston, Colorado. And he was suspended. He was this 6-year-old student that got suspended for kissing the girl in school on the hand. So I just know the story by them, and I've
Whoa.
heard it from ABC News on YouTube.
Whoa.
And he's also a thief who kind and steals kisses.
Hmm.
And but that kiss on the hand didn't just get him slapped on the wrist. It got him suspended for a day with a serious charge of his record. And then Hunter's mom met with the principal at his Canyon City, Colorado school, and she was told her first grade behavior was amounted to sexual harassment. And this is taking it meant with a 6-year-old. And then then Hunter Yelton's mom asked her. Hunter Yelton asks his mom, "What is sex?" And it should not ever be said sex with the sentence of the 6-year-old. And we just don't want to mention that same word that starts with an S. Right.
Yeah, of course. Go
Also,
ahead.
Hunter admits that he was in trouble before, suspended for roughhousing too. And also, she kissed a girl on the hand, the cheek, and the hand too, because they were boyfriends and girlfriends. Because the boy had a gigantic crush on her, thinking that she was hot. But no, she was just a minor, and she's only 6. But
Oh wow.
my
Oh god
God,
damn. Oh
just
my
like Hunter
god.
is also a monster, just like David from No David, because my God, they look 6. How is he that? How are they that bad? But I find David
Exactly.
even worse because of all the terrorism that this YouTuber Dick and Narrow City visits mentions. You should watch more of Dick and Narrow City's videos, but warning, it contains some stuff that starts with an
Suitable.
N.
Suitable. Like
But
suitable. Like
yeah,
in what
but
age would you think
so
it's
your
better
viewer
to watch?
discretion is advised.
Sorry, viewer discretion is advice. Got it.
Warning: some of his videos contain the N word that he usually says, but despite
Well,
that,
honestly, for me, I
he
would
does
suggest
on
like
the bright.
anyone that's watching here,
But
anyone
on the
who's
bright,
watching this.
but on the positive and bright side, he generally did make great businessman decisions. He talked about how Mattel ruined the old kid shows, especially Thomas and Bob the Builder and Rugrats and Teen Titans
I
Go,
didn't even know that
and
they
the greatness of kid shows
actually. I
once
didn't
again
even know
were
they actually
evil.
ruined Bob the Builder too.
And he also talks about
Yeah, I didn't even know
scammers too, and about weird PSA commercials and scary stuff. But warning: in his YouTube video of scary stuff, it features the blank room soup. So if you don't want to watch this video, then please watch his other videos instead. I'm just warning you, Manuel,
that.
because it
Sure. I
makes
mean,
you lose your appetite.
I'm used to this kind of stuff. I mean, I watch Fancy and Stocking. Remember, they have that kind of stuff. You didn't even know that Fancy
Right. And you
and
can
Stocking has that kind of stuff.
subscribe to his channel if you want. Do you know he grew up in the hood? You know what the hood means?
Yeah, I know. I know what that means. You grew up in Los Angeles. Yeah, South Central Los Angeles. Trust me.
It
I
means a ghetto
respect.
neighborhood for African American people. And I
Exactly,
also
and
grew up in
that
that.
includes Los Angeles
And the
too.
true thing is,
I
I
heard
also
people.
grew up in the hood too.
I mean, there's no problem to be honest, dude. As long as you're not that kind of bad person, then you're good. Don't worry. No, I'm not gonna
But
be
I
like
just reject
like how
it.
like Cody
Because,
like that SML episode of
but
how
anyways,
like someone's
let's just talk. But anyways, let's continue talking about Hunter. And one thing I didn't notice about Hunter, it's because he has the same name as Hunter Whitbane from the Owl House and Hunter from Hunter x Hunter, the anime.
honestly, yeah, honestly, he's my favorite character nowadays.
Actually, but
He's like
because
my boy.
I don't know the reason why they're called this. All three of them. I don't want 4 of them. I just don't why they were called the same name. But those other hunters are actually good. So what's literally wrong with Hunter Yelton, the one from the Lincoln School of Colorado, of Lincoln Science School of Science Technology Elementary School? which is called Casey in Colorado. So they had been working for the classroom description. He's been grounded for a while, but sexual harassment. How can they do this? They would have to remove sexual harassment for this record. But soon, later that same day, on Monday, December 9th, 2013, that the Kansas City, Colorado Public Schools said, our students do not get suspended for just a kiss on the hand, and we are on behalf of a little girl who has the unwelcome behavior to stop. Hunter is now back to school.
I'm back, and
And he's
also
probably
I'm
not.
home.
And one thing about Hunter, I noticed that let me do the math with 2013 minus 6. So one thing I didn't also notice that Hunter Yelton was also born in the same year as Alan and Alex Manuel.
2007.
It's crazy because he was this 6-year-old student from Monday, December 9th, 2013 that got suspended for kissing a girl in school in the hand. So please don't like him, Alan.
Yeah, right.
But anyways,
Because
let's talk about let's talk about another person. Oh yeah, so we can also talk about David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery.
Alex is also here in the live when he called me on Discord.
So where's the Super Bowl? Are you watching it?
Yeah, I'm about to put it up on the TV, and also you guys know that it's Super Bowl Sunday today.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
watching it. It was the best because I was
I
with
also mentioned that we need to talk about
All right.
David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery. So, anyways, do you want to?
Wait, who's gonna be
So,
reading about David? What?
I'm gonna read about David Zaslav. So,
Okay.
David Michael David. God doesn't mean like I'm gonna spell this. So, David Zaslav.
I'm back. Sorry, my mic was
David
muted. Sorry,
Michael
my mom
Zaslav
came into my
was
room.
born on January 15th, 1960. Is an American media executive who currently serves as the chief executive officer and president of Warner Brothers Discovery. Zaslav spearheaded the transaction between AT&T and Discovery to combine with Warner Media and to combine the infamous Warner Brothers Discovery. So, because one of the reasons why he's one of the worst people, because Shane O right here also mentioned that. You see, Manuel, Brian, what I'm going to mean. So, Shane O, can you explain why David Zaslav is what is actually wrong with him? Can you suggest tell him one of the reasons why you hate him? Make sure to type and let me know if you typed in. So let's see what's wrong with Warner Brothers Discovery.
Honestly, like there is another person that I would like to mention. To be honest, you probably might hate me, but I was like saying no. I don't think. I think I should. Do you think I should
So
probably say about Alec Baldwin? No, not Alec Baldwin.
we
He
should
doesn't
talk.
deserve
So
to be
wait,
hated. To
are you
be
going to talk
honest,
about Alec Baldwin?
I wanted to tell him about him. To be honest, like you think he's the worst person?
Wait,
I
does
don't know.
Alec
What do you
Baldwin
think?
deserve to be?
I don't think he doesn't deserve it. To be honest, no.
But
The reason I brought to complain about it is because He's up to
But
season
I
To be
six,
heard
honest,
which I
no,
can't
Cole
he's
watch.
in
still a good
school.
guard. Well, besides with Thomas and also with grown up Turner from Fairly Odd Parents, and also Dennis from the SpongeBob movie, and the infamous Boss Baby.
True.
Well, and also Shane O realizes that well, he was the person who removed shows off HBO Max property and even management franchises like DZ. And he also removed Infinity Train, OK Kale, Let's Be Heroes, and other Cartoon Network shows that didn't get the chance to air because of the infamous Teen Titans Go. And on Cartoon Network, nowadays, and I still know why Cartoon Network is getting away with this nonsense. Nobody wants to be dealing with an off, say, absolute worst, abysmal satiric sadistic, the absolute worst of the Teen Titans reboot era. That instead of getting other
Well,
suspense, which you're hearing in my other
there is
conversation,
another one that I do want to mention, to be honest, about who is
and it
the worst
also
human being
would
of them all.
let into bleak but bad turns which he needed to survive. And of course, he ah not this again. I by dollar by da kit I by da Kitsley have no words to say for this abysmal satanic sadistic and the absolute worst Scooby Doo reboot of all time, which is Velma.
The Velma series. The Velma
So
series. Yes,
the
it is the
Velma
worst.
series because David Zaslav also allowed it to stream on HBO Max. You know what? I'm gonna watch Owl House, Trains, Thomas, Loud House, and Pippi Falls,
Tugs,
American
I would definitely
Superstar,
watch
Force of Evil, My Life is
Tugs. Screw it, Tugs.
and also the Owl House mentioned earlier, and
Our
Fairly
House,
Odd Parents, and Grim
Panty and
Adventure,
Stocking,
High Adventure
Shantae.
of Yumi,
Who plays that game? Shantae?
Shantae 2, and Hello Boss,
Shantae,
and
I don't know how to spell her name.
Foster's Home for Mentioning Friends, Translation, Danny Phantom, My Little Ponies, Equestria Girls, Kim Possible, Unikitty, Hilda, and also
Well, Chris
Snackle
Girls, yes, and
Plus,
everything.
which is also an LGBTQ Hanna-Barbera show, which you didn't know. And also Huckleberry Hound is one of them, too.
To be honest,
Don't
like,
forget to
everyone deserves
mention
some second chances, you know?
Huckleberry Hound, Yogi Bear, Flintstones, Jetsons,
I know
and
who!
also
I know
the
I actually have a
Synopsis
new.
book, Word
I
World,
might
and
actually have a new
Fetched
person that I
by
might hit so much.
Miguel Arthur. The Story Keepers, Dr. Wonder's Workshop, which is a Christian anime reality and animated Christian TV show from the 1990s to the mid 1990s to the late early mid 2002 present to the mid 2020s and present now. It's in now, which is still running, still going. And don't forget 321 Penguins. You know 321 Penguins.
Yes, of course, definitely.
Don't forget
There's
Veggie
another person I might
Tales,
want to mention,
2, and
to be
Donkey
honest.
Ollie, Adventures in Odyssey, Beetle Bailey, that Popeye the Sailor Man series, a spin-off military animated cartoon series from 1963. And don't forget the Hanna-Barbera's The Greatest Adventure Stories from the Bible, Hello Boss, Husband Hotel, Inside Job, and don't forget
Inside Job, I never
and
watched that. What is that anyway?
Hill, Beavis and Butthead. Don't
What's
forget
Inside
the Rick
Job? I never heard that before.
and F is for Family and Suction Cup Man and the Go Animate videos too.
Oh, you watch Suction Cup Man? Oh, yo.
I was
Hey,
originally gonna get the plush for Christmas, but they all sold out. But instead, I just got
I
this
wanted it to
YouTuber
be
Saber Spark this
honest.
furry plush. Instead, I got this YouTuber Saber Spark furry plush by my original Darren YMCA Pioneer Camp Group Counselor Juan for Connecticut. They can stand for Connecticut, and because I've been earning 400 points for it, and it still hasn't arrived. It was supposed to be. It is estimated to arrive on March 27. So stressful. Oh, I would,
And
and that
also
would
a
be the,
moment of
and I think
seeing the
that would
Super
be
Bowl.
a future prediction. It would be a future prediction after I go to other rail fan places with Alan, right? And speaking of Alan railfanning, right? I know that he railfan at Riverdale, New York, Manuel, and I wish I can see him go to Strasbourg with him this 2022 February winter break. And also, on the last and final winter break, I want to do something special with Alan. Maybe go to Ridgefield Park in New Jersey and Secaucus Junction train station to try and find some heritage units, which you already know. I love heritage. Find real cat hatching
Well,
heritage units
Alicia,
looks
I actually do
good
have
to
some
me.
person. I actually do have
But
a person
anyways, you can
that
talk
I don't
about
think that
another
honestly
bad
is,
person. You can talk about another worst person, but it has to be quick.
yeah, of course. I know which one.
And
His
then
name
I'm
is
going to talk
Francine.
about Kanye
I need
West.
to make sure I 100% sure because I think I might say something bad about this person. I'm trying not to be like, you know, the thing. Person that I would say is one of the worst human beings of them all would be, honestly, it's another captain, but this captain did something even more worse than how Ivanis did the most. Not
And
only
after that,
that,
after
that
you talk
captain
about
did,
him, and af-
huh?
and also Shano mentioned that me too. I would watch beside Velma are My Love is Teen Robot, Foster Song from Imaginary Friends, Grim Adventures, Bill and Mandy, Top Gear, Wheel of Fortune, and speaking of Wheel of Fortune, I know that, and also don't forget Law and Order and Danny Phantom.
Okay, like here
Which
is
are still his
a
favorite shows, respectively. And you
like
should
here
start
is
mentioning the
someone. There's
the
a picture
worst
about this
person.
man. Here, Alicia, is it fine
And
if I share
after
my
you
screen?
talk about yes, see, and after you talk about quick, after you talk about the quick information about him, you should definitely. I should definitely. We should. You should definitely talk about Kanye West
Yes, of course, definitely. Okay, so
because he's
what
one
we
of the
see in this
worst
picture here, this
rappers
is
ever.
Captain.
Because
He is one of the worst human beings of them all. His name is Francesco Scintino. It sounds Italian, right? Yes, because he's actually Italian. Of
Yeah,
course,
just
what did he do
because it
wrong?
is. It's also Italian, just like Francesco from Cars 2.
Cars
Remember
2,
him?
I get it. Okay. Okay,
Remember
anyways, let's talk
Francesco
about
was
him.
from Cars
Okay,
2?
so what did he do? What did he do wrong? And why was he something a bad captain? Okay, so let's talk about, has anyone ever heard about the Costa Concordia sinking? Anyone? The 2012 sinking of the ship? Nope. Okay. Well, okay, that was
yeah,
this incident that happened when a Costa Concordia ship hit a rock out of the Mediterranean Sea, which is somewhere in Italy, in European. The Costa Condora is honestly one of the big luxury ships of them all. Like you've seen those Carnival commercials? The Carnival commercials, the cruise ship liner? Yeah, that's how it was the Costa Condora at the time. But it was both owned by the same company. They both are the same company because they were both owned by both of them. But this man, Captain Scintino, when he was in a ship, when the sinking happened, he literally abandoned his ship and did not tell anyone of what was going on. He did not even alert the Coast Guard. He didn't alert the passengers. He did not alert anyone. He just stayed silent the whole time. Of course, that would make disasters happen worse because on January 13th of 2012, also known, it was also Friday that day. So we all know, we seen Friday the 13th so much. Like, bad day, bad luck day, Honestly, it wasn't that day. Anyways, so the ship started to list because of the rock impact. Because of the rock, however, the ship started listing. And because the captain did not tell anyone what was going on, he just told the passengers saying this, and I quote, I didn't even make this up. He said to himself, he said this, saying that what they're experiencing is that there's a power failure and that they're working on it to fix it. However, as more and more passengers started to realize what was going on, they noticed that something was wrong with the ship. Because remember, the ship rocked a bit, and they saw the lights going off. Yeah, that's not something else. The ship must be in trouble. If that was one of the passengers, I would say like, yeah, there's something wrong. Like there's something wrong with the ship. Of course, the captain, of course, told the crew to start prepping the lifeboats because they realized that the ship was sinking. Of course, everything was organized. The ship got the lifeboats. Everybody started evacuating, and everything was normal. But however, However, he did manage to sneak himself into a lifeboat and just set sail out of the ship. He literally just abandoned his crew again. Of course, the senior staff of the ship, they tried helping the passengers by getting them into lifeboats. And of course, it was chaos at this point because passengers were realizing there was no more lifeboats, and they began pushing their way towards the lifeboats. I wouldn't imagine what they were going through. I wouldn't imagine. They were terrified at this point. To make things even more worse, because it took so long for them to respond to the Coast Guard, the Coast Guard would not arrive until an hour later to stop helping the passengers. During this moment, of course, the captain was obviously safely on shore, and of course, the Coast Guard radioed him, telling him what's going on, how many passengers are left. And honestly, he did not communicate with most of the passengers. And we do have a recording about his conversation, and I would like to play it right now, but we're just gonna play a little bit about it so we don't get copyright stuff. So right now, I'm just gonna have to put the video. I have to post it right now. To be honest, you could definitely just say just said. But anyways, here's the conversation he had with the ship. This is him. Let me just find a video clip. You can hear a little bit of Italian because obviously this is Italian after all. So here it is.
Comandante Schettino, comandante. Schettino? Sì, ascolti Schettino. Ci sono persone intrappolate a bordo, adesso lei va con la sua scialuppa sotto la prua della nave, lato dritto. C'è una biscaggina. Lei sale su quella biscaggina e va a bordo della nave. Va a bordo della nave e mi viene a dire, mi riporta quante persone ci sono. È chiaro? Io sto registrando questa comunicazione, comandante Schettino. Allora, comandante, le dico una cosa. Parli a voce alta. Allora, la nave adesso, io sono chiamato comandante, parli a voce. In questo momento, la nave è inclinata. Ho capito. C'è gente, ascolti, c'è gente che sta scendendo dalla biscaggina di prua. Lei quella biscaggina la percorre in tetto in mezzo, sale sulla nave e mi dice quante persone e che cosa hanno a bordo, chiaro?
Yeah, you could just tell by the recording, you could hear them, like, the captain was obviously having an argument with the Coast Guard, with one of the Coast Guard members. You could hear him, like, telling him that he should go back to his ship. But yet, he denies it. He doesn't go back to his ship. He just stands there, just like an idiot, honestly. Just stands there like an idiot and just like, it's like, I'm not going to do that, like that. After the wreckage, however, was cleared, however, sadly, I know you're thinking that probably all the passengers survived, right? Sadly, no. Out of all the 600 passengers on board, 32 people lost their lives when the ship went down. 32 people were killed. And I know you're thinking, like, how did so many people die from this incident? Well, here's something else you need to know, because the captain told them that the ship wasn't sinking and that they're just experiencing a power failure. Most of the passengers headed back to their cabins or their rooms, and then they didn't get up until they realized that their rooms were flooding, because the ship already reached that compartment. The water started heading towards the compartment, and most of them died as a result of drowning, which that honestly shouldn't happen, to be honest. Of course, what happened after him? Well, Captain Schettino, however, he was put on trial for everything, which honestly he deserves. And of course, and I kid you not, he made something really, really disgraceful that I want to say this, to be honest. So, but before I say something, your discretion is advised of what I'm going to say, and this is honestly some of the true words that you guys are not going to believe your ears of what he said. He literally had the gut to tell the judge that those 32 people that died wasn't his fault. He said it wasn't his fault and that he did everything he can to try to get everyone off the ship. I have no words. I have no words. I have no words at all. Just like that's just total BS. Why would you do that? Like, he honestly he's disgraced to the humankind, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Literally. Hey, what happened?
Wait, where'd Elijah go?
I don't know. I think I got disconnected.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, and also hope that uh, uh Elijah gets back here.
But yes, honestly, guys, I have no words at all of what to say about him. To be honest, he was honestly just even more awful than the other captain of the Oceanos. To be honest, he was literally one of the worst captains of them all. I'm not gonna lie. Searching these incidents, to be honest, it's just interesting to be honest to find out who honestly did wrong and what cost is it.
Wait a minute. Where'd they go? Wait, you accidentally left. Where'd Elijah go? Well, I hope that when Elijah gets back here, he might add you back in. And then you heard Alex was also here in the live. Hey, Alex.
You ever see Aaron play turtle?
Whoa! Don't say that because I unmuted.
Huh?
I'm unmuted in the live, and then Manuel was also there too, and you're still the backstage, Manuel, and even you too, Ian. Like, I wonder where'd Elijah go? I need to go check on Elijah real quick.
In mine?
Yeah, in the real fan group. Legend. The live is still running. The live is still running. It's in the real fan group. Manuel said he'll be right back, and I see Ian's here. All right. Where is Elijah at? I'm trying to check on Elijah in the Railfan group on Snapchat, telling him that the live is still going on. Is he back? Is he back? Not yet because I had to tell him that I had to tell him that the live's still going on. Did you tell him that the live's still going on? Okay. Hey, Manuel and Elijah, where have you guys been?
Alright, guys, it's been my
Oh, finally! Oh, finally! Oh, yeah. Sorry, Alicia. I was trying to call you. I
dad.
was trying to contact you. I
It's
accidentally
been
left for
my
some
dad.
reason.
Yeah, and I even said the Railfan group that the live is still running.
Well, I left off with
What-
Captain Scatino about what he did. Honestly,
You
um,
memorized
No,
what
it's
we left
just
off,
my
right?
dad.
it's fine. Don't worry. It's
And
fine.
also,
Don't worry.
Alex is also here in the Discord call with me while he's in the live with
Well,
me.
no, you can join, right? We can send him an invite, right?
Let me ask Alex. Alex, do you want to join the live?
Nah, don't worry. I'll stay in the car with you.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right. I heard. Yeah.
Um,
Okay. I was left off with Captain Scatino about. I'm almost done with him actually. So yeah, Captain Scatino literally went to trial because as a result of the sinking, it did kill 32 people and injured so many others. And that incident, like, he was brought into trial, which he deserved because obviously he did something wrong that's negligence, you know? Like, if you're doing a job and you're starting to do neglection, then yes, that is a very crime. That is a various crime. Of course, in the trial, however, when they told him about, like, what did he do? Why did he do this? He just simply just said, and even when someone asked him about why, like he even asked himself, like, why am I here? It wasn't my fault that 32 people died. I'm not a killer. And I had no comment at all. I have no comment of what he said, to be honest. He was literally just messed up in the head, literally, you know? And honestly, he was the worst captain of all of them, to be honest. Out of Hervanes, I would say he was even more worse because he literally tried killing 32 people. Captain Hervanes, however, he did try killing people, but in the end, he did not kill them. All of them survived in the Oceanos, and of course, the coast of Candoria, too. Of course, do I think he's honestly a bad captain? Yes, he definitely is a captain. He's a bad captain that just left his passengers struggling for themselves and trying to survive. Honestly, that's just something that I never want to talk about. But anyways, do you guys have more other lists for other people? Because we did like I did like let me see, we did
I think
20
I have other lists. You can talk about Kanye West
Kanye West. Oh yeah, that's the one we've been talking about. Yes.
because he's one of the
So who is
worst
Kanye
rappers.
West? He's honestly a rapper. That's all I know about him. That's all I know, to be honest. He's like a rapper, and honestly, it isn't like how it is in SML. Like like SML, like MC Bloodstain, something like that. Oh god, that's the one of the
Oh,
worst.
I remember that from the SML video, the science fair.
Here's the information of
Yeah.
Kanye West
Remember
from
that?
Manuel.
Yeah,
What's
give me
your
the Kanye West.
what's your opinion on Kanye West?
Honestly, I never listened to his music, to be honest. Never seen him. Honestly, he's even more.
But
He's not that kind of a bad guy, but like, well, let's talk about him, Kanye West. Well, of course, Kanye West. Of course, he's honestly a famous rapper. Of course, he's one of the world's best-selling music artists with over 160 million records sold. West has won 22 Germany awards and 75 nominations, the joint 10th most of all time, and the joint most Grammy awards of any rapper along with Jay-Z. Among his other awards are the Billboard Artist Achievement Award, a joint record 3 Brit Awards for Best International Male Solo Artist, and of course the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award too. Of course, Kanye West is honestly one of the most famous rappers of them all, but I mean, we all know who he is. We all know who he is. However, there is something about him
also,
actually, and
did
this is
you
something
know that he's also a Republican because Democrats hate Donald Trump.
yeah, obviously, of course, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Actually, I was about to say that too. Of course, there's also something
And
else
also,
too.
there are some shocking and problematic things that Kanye West has done.
Oh my goodness, let me see. Okay.
Because
Oh my god,
he's
wait,
a
there's one
rapper
right
and
here. It
fashion
says in
designer,
2022
but
alone, he was widely condemned and lost
outside of
many
his
sponsors and
career,
partnerships,
Kanye West
including
is
his own
also well
collaborations
known
with
for
Uddis,
causing
Gap, and Bentley.
controversy. Because over the years of fans, Ye have followed everything from his feud and Taylor Swift to some of his eyebrow-raising remarks about his ex-wife Kim Kardashian. And though it's been clear for quite a while that Ye isn't one to hold back any personal opinions, the artist's behavior has not
Wait.
only
Doesn't that remind you of that South Park episode about when Wendy was like saying that Kim Kardashian is honestly a body of a hobbit?
The Hobbit episode,
Yes. Yes,
because
him. Yeah.
I saw that South Park
I saw
episode
the South Park episode
because
too. Yeah, I
I
seen it.
watched
also the
all the
artist's behavior has not only hindered the public's view of him, but
yeah,
it's also gotten West into some serious trouble.
then
And
next
Oh
also,
yeah, he got
did you
into
know
trouble so many
when
times. I've heard
did
about him.
Con-
and then Mr.
did
Mackey
you
showed
when
up.
did you know when Kim Kardashian and then when did West and Kardashian divorced?
Oh
It's gonna be
yes,
quick.
definitely.
So it's on
Yes.
November, as of November 29th, 2022, Kardashian and West had officially finalized their divorce according to documents obtained by
God
people former
damn, I did
people
not
will
even know
have
that. Holy
joint
crap.
physical and legal custody of their four children, North Saint, Chicago, and Psalm West.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yes.
And
But
he got a
like,
new wife. He also got a
oh
new
yeah,
wife, which is
he got so many divorces. I heard
Bionica
about him.
Sensory, which is an Australian entrepreneur and architect. And she came into limelight after marrying rapper Kanye West in Beverly Hills in January 2023.
Oh yeah, I heard about him. According to here, also
And
when I'm
less
reading right
than two
here, he
months
also
after
said
getting
this
divorced
quote.
from Kim Kardashian. And she has
Yeah,
been
he also.
working architectural designer for West's company Yeezy.
Despite him being a famous rapper, to be honest, he did had so much of a lot of legacy. I mean, not legacy and much, but like literally everything. To be honest, I mean, like there is one person. I actually have one person who's one of the worst of them all, and this is not involving with politics at all. It's just a normal person that did a big crime that killed so many people. Is that fine? We can mention that too. It's not politics
Yes, we
after
can
all.
mention that.
Okay, sure.
And then after that, I'm gonna mention Nicki Minaj.
Okay, let's talk
Do
about
you think
honestly this. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
you can talk about
That's
it?
fine. Okay. Okay. Before I start what I'm gonna say, I remember like we're not talking about the entire incident about what really happened to his early life because we don't have to go through that kind of dark situation. But we could talk about what happened before, like we can talk about his early we cannot talk about that much of his early life because it does involve a little bit of politics, but we could try telling him about what happened, what was something that he did something wrong. Honestly, we know who. Honestly. Here, right here. Honestly, I'm sharing my screen right now. Can you share my screen? Share my screen.
Let's
Okay.
see.
This man here, Timothy James McVeigh. Who was he? Well, apparently he was a terrorist, a domestic American terrorist responsible for the Oklahoma City bombing that happened in 1995, April 19th that year. So what did he do with the Oklahoma City bombing? What is the Oklahoma City bombing? The Oklahoma City bombing was where a bomb happened in the 1995 Oklahoma bombing, is where Timothy McVeigh drove a Ryder truck loaded with a bomb, like 50 tons bomb inside a Ryder truck, parked it in front of the Murrah building in Oklahoma City, and causing the big significant explosion. However, the building, however, it did collapse after the result of the bomb. And we can't show the picture about that because obviously YouTube's not that kind of fan of that. But the bombing, however, it killed 168 people and injured 100 others. And the sad part about this is that, well, 19 of them would be children because in the building there was a daycare center and all the 19 children there were killed. Of course, like before he did the bombing, let's just say like the day he did the bombing, he got away with the car, right? He had a getaway car that he parked it somewhere like a block away from the building, from the Murrah building. Of course, he did everything good until police from Kansas pulled him over because he doesn't have a license plate in his back because he removed his license plate back on the day of the bombing. He removed it to avoid, to avoid detection, to avoid anyone getting suspicious. Of course, however, he did get pulled over because of that. And however, once the police were like searching him back, he had a weapon on him. And of course, the police, they just said, heads on your head, just like normal cops and robber thing, And then like, he picked up his weapon from his pocket and just threw it across the shoulder of the highway. And he was arrested. He was arrested later. Of course, however, with the situation, like everyone was asking about why he did it. Honestly, we have no clue at all, to be honest, even to this day. But we do have a little bit of much, but we're not going to get into that much. So, like, before I'm going to say a little bit, I'm not trying to be that kind of guy that spreads information, Honestly, like, the reason he did the bombing was because he wanted to get revenge against the government. Like, something like that. I know that he got revenge of everything that happened with the government, that kind of stuff. But we're not getting to that much politics. However, the FBI had to find him and they tracked him down for years to come. But then around June 11th, actually, before then, in the year 1997, about 2 years after the bombing, the FBI found him and they arrested him. And his charges included the 11 counts of murder, the 168 murder, and of course the result of the bombing. However, he was executed, in June 11th of 2001 and he sadly passed away in his execution. Honestly, looking about him, to be honest, he's one of the worst human beings ever. He wasn't just a terrorist, to be honest. He was just American citizen that did something bad. Honestly, he was probably one of the worst people of them all. Like, he killed innocent people, literally. I have no comment at all, to be honest, about this, to be honest, this incident, that kind of stuff,
So, anyways, let's talk about Nicki Minaj. So, Anika Tanya Paraj Pidi Nan Maraj,
Well, here, let's stop sharing
born
guests.
December 8th of 1982, known professionally as Nicki Minaj, is a Trinidadian-born rapper, singer, songwriter, and actress. She is known for her musical versatility, animated flow in her rapping, alter egos, and accents. Minaj first gained recognition after releasing 6 mixtapes between 2007 and 2009. Her first album, Pink Friday, 2010, topped U.S. Billboard 200 chart. Its fifth single, Superbass, reached number 3 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 chart and was certified diamond by the RIAA, which stands for the Recording Industry Association of America, okay, which is a trade organization that represents the music recording industry in the United States. Minaj's follow-up album, Pink Friday, Roman Reload, 2012, explored dance pop. The lead single, Starships, peaked in the top 5 worldwide. And of course, we know that she's also a Republican too.
Yes, I am aware of that. Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
and now, what is wrong with Nicki Minaj?
Oh, I heard
Let's
about him.
go.
Mm.
So, what's the controversy? So, she
First,
seemed to criticize the Met Gala's vaccine requirement, citing a recent experience with COVID-19 that prevented her from caring of her young child and explaining that she will get the vaccine once I feel I've done enough research. And she was also accused that she has been dropped from a lawsuit alleging that she harassed and intimidated her husband's sexual assault victim, according to court documents.
yes,
Heard that, Manuel.
I actually heard of that before. Yes, I've heard of him before, to be honest, and I wanted to conclude about the Timothy McVeigh one, to be
And
honest.
also
Honestly,
Roberta Colla, a Sionsta player noob, is also a fan of the Owl House, and I'm not actually mad because I'm the biggest, absolute biggest
I
fan of
mean,
the
he's a
Owl House.
collector after all. Oh my god, he's a
The
collector.
collector. And
Honestly, I know.
also, I heard that he's gonna perform another possession with Emperor Bellows.
Oh no, I hope not.
I just hope they both die along with, and I just hope Kikimora dies and
Honestly, I
Odalia
can't believe
gets arrested.
she hasn't changed at all. I just can't believe it. She has not changed. I thought she changed from the last episode of season 2. I thought she changed. But I guess their characters always stay
Let's
together.
talk about Edward Thompson,
Edward Thompson.
which is the worst chief mechanical engineer of the London Northeastern Railway. So much that rebuild Gresley's existing locomotives. I'm gonna get into this quickly.
Yeah, let's try getting this quickly because like a little bit of delay to be honest. But yeah.
This is Edward Thompson, the chief mechanical engineer of the LNER. So, who's exactly Edward Thompson? Well,
I think I've heard of him before.
I'm gonna change it to my British accent because Edward Thompson is a British engineer of the London Northeastern
Oh, British
Railway.
mate, British.
So,
You want British tea, mate? British tea. Oh God,
Edward
I just
Thompson,
good.
the mechanical engineer of the London Northeastern Railway. Edward Thompson. Now, who's Edward Thompson? So, 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 let's just communicate about him. Edward Thompson, the mechanical engineer of the London Northeastern Railway, was born on June 25th, 1881, and and passed away on July 15th, 1954. Was an English railway engineer and chief mechanical engineer of the London Northeastern Railway between 1941 and 1946. Edward Thompson was born at Marlborough, Wiltshire on June 25th of 1881. He was the son of an assistant master at Marlborough College, where he attended the same exact college where Sir Nigel, the famous chief mechanical engineer and locomotive designers of all time, Sir Nigel Gresley. He was educated at Marlborough before taking mechanical science to Pembroke College, Cambridge, earning a third-class degree. Thomas's academic background contrasts with the of his predecessor, Sir Nigel Gresley, who had also attended Marlborough, but then gained practical experience as a pupil at college works. So, here's his career. The Northeastern Railway, the Great Northern Railway, and the London Northeastern Railway. After graduation, Thompson worked in both industry the railways for a while. By 1910, he was assistant dimensional locomotive superintendent of the Northeastern Railway, aka NER for short, in which capacity he gave evidence at the inquiry into the fatal accident between two goods trains at Darlington on November 15th of 1910. In 1912, he was appointed carriage and wagon superintendent for the Great Northern Railway, aka GNR for short. He served with the armed forces during World War I and was twice mentioned in dispatches. Upon demobilization, he returned to the railways, alternating between the wagon works at Darlington and Doncaster, consequently between the Northeastern and Great Northern, respectively. He became workshop manager at Stratford Works in 1930 and was able to make significant improvements, although the works layout prevented major changes there. Had grouping not taken place in 1923, Thompson would have eventually become CME of the Northeastern in 1933 upon the retirement of A.C. Stammer, who had been assistant CME to Raven at the Northeastern, but in the end being works manager at Stratford was Thompson's final post before becoming chief mechanical engineer at CME of the London Northeastern Railway, LNER, in 1941, after the death of Sir Nigel Gresley, which passed away on April 5th of 1941 at age 64 at Watton at Stonehurt,
Is that Sir
Fordshire.
Nigel Gresley, the one that
Yes,
had
see,
with the
but at
class
least he's
A4
way better
Mallard?
than Edward Thompson. And then he Thompson
Go ahead.
Thompson was to hold the CME post for 5 years. History shows that Gresley and Thompson disagreed on a number of matters. Thompson had a number of incidents with Gresley, and given the previous heated debate between Gresley and Thompson's father-in-law, Sir Vincent Raven, and also one thing that I even noticed this is because Sir Vincent Raven has the same name as Raven from Teen Titans, 2003 Teen Titans and the infamous Teen Titans Go. It's the last name of Raven.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just that British accent. That's really funny. That's like very funny. I'm sorry.
But
Kind of
anyways,
funny.
let's continue.
Oh yeah.
So it is possible that there was a disagree of petulance and Thompson's choice for his prototype A1/1 engine, namely number 4470 Great Northern, both Ford's name that the NER rival company, the GNR, and for it being Chris's first Pacific. The opinion on this is heavily divided. Another incident is noted by Osno because he remanded Thompson for interfering in the actions of a driver on an engine which had failed in service. Now, once Thompson wants to design a locomotive from the ground up, but the damages of the war prevented him from doing it, Manuel. And so Thompson made the infamous ataxic in the absolute worst decision of rebuilding Sinatra Gross's existing locomotives. Not really good at all because you have to save on construction costs and war efforts thanks to the war. And those has resulted in turning a batch of Cressley's V2262 Prairie type rear turner engine steam locomotives into its problematic A2/1 and V2/2, and all six of Cressley's P2 to Macordos into its infamously crappy A2/2s. And even with the A2/2s, his infamy began. And I'm going to show you how the LNER V2 Thompson rebuilds look like. Right, guys?
Is this supposed to be an engine type of Gordon?
Wow. And that's how Edward Thompson rebuilt
Hmm.
the LNER V2 Pacific V2 4262 Prairie tank engine type steam locomotives into its infamously crappy A2/1. And you see all six of Thompson's eight and all six of London Northeastern of Gresley's famous P2 class 282 Mikados, right, Manuel?
Yes, definitely.
Into his infamously crappy A2/2s, which looked absolutely disgraceful and
Just
disgusting.
disgusting.
Despicable.
Despicable. You know,
And to say such things to us, so Don said, as journalism
we do it to him.
And Ellen, and also the LNERP to
Yeah,
Mikados.
I'm here.
Oh,
And LNERP to
he's talking. He's
Mikados.
talking to a British
So
accent.
they
Okay,
were
Oh,
Britain's most powerful steam
it's
locomotives,
fine.
Manuel.
Yes, I did notice that. Of
And
course.
also they were, and also the P2s did such a great one job with the P2s. Granted, still way better than his infamous W1 464 Hudson or 4622 Hudson type rearrangement steam locomotive, which is a water tube boiler locomotive. But this locomotive was much more successful. But it was one of the great trains that had one annoying flaw. One thing, the line between Edinburgh and Aberdeen, the main express passenger freight main frame express passenger next trapping dual service locomotive main line. Because that frames are rigid because 282 Makotas are a common rare type to see in the United Kingdom. Because one of these things, they're big driving wheels for their P2 Mikados. They weren't strong enough. They were a little bit too stiff, Manuel.
Yes. Yes, I heard
Now
about them.
imagine if they were smaller. Now, but the most common a driving wheel locomotive, and the United Kingdom might be the 280 consolidations.
Uh huh.
And don't forget that. And do you know which British locomotive, which also had 10 driving wheels? The British Railway Standard Class 9Fs,
Oh yeah, I heard of that
and
engine
also
before.
another 210 and also
Yeah, go
another
ahead.
210 decapod that looks like golden, but it's blue.
Exactly. What about the Flying Scotsman? That?
It's also it's a 462 Pacific.
Hmm. See.
Well, the P2s look like a combination between the Flying Scotsmans and the LNERs we once mentioned earlier, and the Bully Pacifics from the Southern Railway, which were Rebecca's infamous awful design that replaced Henry the Green Engine. So screw her and Nia. I prefer
Oh yeah,
my
definitely.
one or favorite Thomas character, especially your Manuel of Edward, and also Henry, which is my third favorite Thomas character.
Henry's my favorite to be honest. Yeah. Well,
And
actually, it's my
second
second favorite.
favorite is
Second
Oliver.
favorite.
Second favorite is Oliver, the one who barely
Doug
escaped
would
from
be my
Scotland. God bless.
third character. Honestly, third character would be definitely
But
him.
for Oliver over Duck, because according to this Thomas Fan enthusiast YouTuber Thomas Fan 1 Edward to Henry T, he did a great job explaining why Oliver beats Duck. Uck.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Yep.
And
Yes. I
also,
remember that
when
part.
Grassley Thompson succeeded Sir the announcing Sir Nigel Grassley in the entire world, it was a chief mechanical engineer of the LNR later, and between mid to late 1941, and he decided to rebuild all six of a batch of Grassley's V2s and his problematic A2/1 mentioned earlier. I mean, I mean, as well, like I said, mentioned earlier, and all six of Grassley's P2 Macaulay into infamously crappily A2/2s. And it's just like a Mikado. It's just like a Pacific replacing Mikado. And also, it's just like a Mikado replacing the Pacific. How Canadian National 3054 was traded with Canadian Pacific 1278 for Steamtown, which was such a stupid idea that I mentioned in the Steamtown National Historic Site Manuel videos. And according to Overpowered Steam Productions' Burning Subjects videos.
Yeah. Uh huh.
And also, the P2 Mikados, where some of them had streamlined notice, just like where the inspiration of the London Northeastern Railway 84 Pacific. Look at this.
Yes.
Right before the A4s over the 282 Mikados, because those were much more successful than the P2s. And that's number 2004, Mom's Meg.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Thomson created the A2. And also, instead of buying brand new, and Thompson had to save on construction costs instead of buying brand new ones. And what he did with the P228 to Mikados, he converted an ivory bridge into worse looking Pacifics. And a truly amazing bit of fail, despite being more flexible now, the A2/2s were inferior to their previous existence. Yes, and they had more problems now. Good going, Thompson. And because of that, they couldn't be used in the line between Edinburgh. And one thing that the P2s weren't that flexible, but the Thompson A2/2s were just flexible, but had more problems. And because of that, they couldn't be used on the line between Edinburgh and Aberdeen anymore. Their reliability also took them trip down south, and they suffered badly from frame movers and vibrates, and also the rotten looks. And look at the external cylinder. Thompson did something extremely explicit and the absolute worst with the cylinders, because the internal cylinder would power the driving wheels on the first driving axle, while the external cylinders would power with the driving wheels on the second set of the two leading wheels, and it looked absolutely disgusting. Just look at this, Alexander Manuel.
God, oh my, bro,
And
what am I
also,
looking at? What am I looking at? Tell me, what am I
also,
looking at?
and also,
Google.
pushing the cylinders back has been done before with any British steam locomotive like the GWR Castle class right here, and don't forget the King class
Hmm.
too. But those were much more better, right, Manuel?
Yes, they were better. Honestly, if I was you. Whatever next,
And
mate?
El
I say, what's
and
going
also
on here?
Elmer's Princess Royal and Coronation class Pacifics too. But those were much
Definitely,
better.
yes.
Coronations are one of my favorite examples of these, but my least favorite steam locomotive that has the cylinders pushed back that have been done to full make it look silly as the 80s slash twos and they but they but unlike those engines like the Star King and Coronation Royal Pacific classes, which had the cylinders pushed back but under the second set of the second leading bogie, while for the LNER Thompson 80/2s, it sat behind the freaking bogie and it looked absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, it does. Indeed.
And also, in 1944, before, and I also saw this color film of the LNER 80/2.
Hmm.
Try showing, try showing it to you on YouTube.
Was it like some other list you put about me? About
Oh,
the,
I
you know.
found the color film of the LNER 80/2, number 60502, Ellen Marshall. Oh, it looks, even though the film looks nice, but the 80/2s were just trash.
Definitely.
And he also created the A2/3s, which much more successful. And also the A2/1, and there were two different breeds of A2/A2 Pacifics from the London Northeastern Railway. One which was the A2, one which was the A, one which
Hmm.
is was the which was the underrated A LNER class A2, which was designed by Vincent Raven for the Northeastern Railway, but they were much more successful. You think that, Manuel?
Yes, I do think that,
And
mate.
also Peppercorn's is LNER A3, 62, A2 slash 3, with this locomotive number 605 6532. Oh, oh, Blue Peter. And it was designed by Arthur Henry Peppercorn. And it is the only 20th century built peppercorn steam locomotive A2 slash 3 called 460 Pacific Peppercorn class of A3s from the 20th century still left in preservation and was originally the only one to still in existence. But unfortunately, fortunately, those days were over because because the A1 Steam Trust finally completed the A1 Class 6163 Tornado in 2008. It was
No,
to an originally designed by Arthur
the
Peppercorn, the first new
Eagles.
build mainline
The
steam locomotive since
Well,
1960.
what's going on?
the Eagles lost the Super Bowl, and I just went for the Eagles because Philadelphia is close to New York.
Yeah.
Don't forget that they
Yeah,
also met
because I
each
do like
other.
the color red.
Yeah, me too. It's a darn shame
And
though.
this is
At least, but at least everyone had fun. That's the thing. But everyone had fun, which we can all agree, to be honest.
And that's a picture of 60532 Blue Peter, but and also 60103 Tornado. But one thing about Blue Peter, even though it was called Blue Peter, why is it green? But maybe one of the reasons why it's currently undergoing an overhaul to running condition. And who knows, maybe it will be painted be our first passenger blue for a change. But let's hope and pray to God and Jesus and heaven in the Bible that would happen, Manuel.
Yes.
And it's also Blue Peter, Tornado, including the Flying Scotsman, are the only two surviving LNER non-streamlined Pacifics.
Hmm.
But Flying Scotsman's my favorite. She's my boy. He's my boy.
I get it. I get it. I do like Brian Scotsman. You know, he's an okay player. You know, okay engine. I mean, first of all, we see him in reality. He's still alive, right? The engine's still alive.
Yes, see.
Exactly.
And then in 1940, but let's continue talking about Edward Thompson. So in 1944, before building any fresh new locomotives of the LNER, Thompson decided he'll be taking the Grizzly A1 into a Pacific of his own design just to see how his design would work. But instead of selecting a particular A1 that was known for nothing, Thompson worsened his imaging more by selecting Great Northern, Grizzly's first Pacific on the form of the LNER. See, that's the engine that I'm talking about.
Yes, I get the engine. Yes, I do get the
And
engine.
this only had no reaction to this among LNER officials. And they tried their best to talk Edward out of rebuilding Great Northern to this A1/1 Pacific, but instead he didn't say disagree, but he had none of it. Luck. He rebuilt Great Northern number 3470 into his infamous, hideous, sadistic, the absolute worst, A1/1. Considering how controversial this idea was, his ill temper, what he'd done to the P2s, one of Gresley's greatest locomotives, Thompson did not have a good heart to one of the greatest locomotive designers of all time. Mr. Nigel Gresley we're talking about. Why is he one of
Yes,
the greatest locomotive designers of all time? He was the very man who designed the A4 Pacifics, and one of them, 4468, Mallard became the fastest steam locomotive in the world, and has been holding that title more than 80 years at this point. Flyers Presley was so great. But to do this kind of thing to one of the greatest locomotive designers of all time, this is an absolute sin to God, Jesus, and heaven in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what's
Yeah.
the worst thing that Edward Thompson
What did he do? What was the worst of him?
he created? He created the V. He created the one of the. He created the L1 tank engines. I mean, let's be
Oh
honest,
wow.
like
Yeah.
the class, at least on paper, should have been very free steaming and powerful engines, but in practice they were not suited to the work which were the design, because they had 5'2" 1.575 drawing wheels which would give them excellent power at low speed, such as that required for freight work. But these engines were intended for passenger use. While in passenger use, oh no. Speeds for the suburban work still work wore the engines out in a remarkably short time. Axle bosses, crossheads, side lights, and cranks and bearings all suffered due to high speeds.
Uh-huh.
And also, there was an accident incident. So, on November 19th, 1958, a freight train overran signal was in a rear and head-on collision with another Hinch Chin head to Fortshire. A third freight train ran into the wreckage and was derailed. Locomotive number 67785 was pushed over by the wagons from the third train. And granted, there were a total of 100 produced between 1945 prototype one being built in 19 by Doncaster Works in 1945. The other rest from Darlington Works, North British Locomotive Company, Robert Stevenson and Hartons between 1948 to 1950. And they were withdrawn between 1960 to 1962. Thankfully, all of them were scrapped.
Thank God.
And also, Edward and us, and then for the A2 slash V2, A2 slash 1, V2 slash 2, A2 slash 2s, and all of them hit with the dust of scrapmen's cutting torch between 1952 to 1962. And also the A1 slash 1 was finally retired between 1962 with its other locomotive number 60, which is number 76, which is 60096 by the London Northeastern Railway, which was an A3 Pacific, which was the fastest non-streamlined LNER Gresley Pacific. And ironically, despite that, Great Northern was now hideous and crappy Pacific. There was actually an attempt to save it from scrapped, and presumably took a course to undo what Thompson did to it and convert it back to its original LNER 4470 or GNR 4470.
Mm-hmm.
That attempt was unsuccessful, and Great Northern hit that and dust
Okay.
and with the dust of the hands of the cutter's torch. And for papyrus, despite being in use, despite being one of the greatest engines and of its 108 per mile record, 8 mile per hour record, she ended up becoming 177 A3s to be scrapped, leaving the only one A3 that we all know and love today, Fine Scotsman, behind. Also, a few of Thompson's existing locomotives were preserved, which two of them, which are the British Thomson London Northeastern Railway Thomson class B1 class 46010 wheelers, numbers 1264 and aka British Railways 1264 and 1306.
Oh
Number
man,
613
Elijah and
for main
Manuel,
Well, what's up?
I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow because my moms keep telling me to go to bed once again because of my crappy school.
Eh, yeah, same to me. My mom's literally calling me right now.
Yeah. So good night, guys.
Good night.
Also, and one
Good
thing
night.
before we go, so let's talk about his retirement and death. So,
Mhm.
Thompson retired from the LNER in 1946 and might have been replaced by Arthur Peppercorn and died due to some sudden illness in 1954. And one thing about Edward Thompson, he lost his wife too. And also, the new LNER Class A1 was finally designed under Thompson's successor, Arthur Peppercorn, who disregarded almost all of Thompson's guidelines. And I mean, I mentioned earlier, Thompson was the son-in-law of Sir Vincent Raven, the final CME of the Northeastern Railway, aka NER for short. And his retirement and death. Thompson retired from the London Northeastern Railway, aka LNER for short, in 1946 to be raced by Peppercorn, which made much more successful. Spectacular so incredible was never Jason Goldie the absolute best one ever, the greatest ever. And then, well, not as great as Presley's. Presley has one of the absolute best, including his A4 Pacifics, because one of them, number 4468, Mallard became the fastest steam locomotive in the world. That 26 miles per hour record more than 80 years at this point, which is why Presley is so great. To do this kind of thing to one of the greatest locomotive designers of all time, is the absolute sense of God, Jesus, heavenly in the Bible. And then thankfully, he died in 1954. and they're in hell now.
Hmm. Interesting.
And what's that character in your profile?
Oh, that's Friday Night. It's a Friday Night Funkin' character I'm obsessed with. It's Ruby from Starlight Mayhem.
Just like
That's
Ruby from Max and Ruby. And
kind
also,
of.
Ruby from Max and Ruby is just the villain because she always tells Max what to do because Max is just too young. And
I mean, I
also,
get it.
there
She's
were a
trying to
few,
be the
there
best
were
sister.
some
You know,
Max
best I
Ruby
can say.
episodes where Max talked in full sentences, and they showed the parents in the later seasons before the show got cancelled in mid to late or July to August of 2019. If they
Hmm.
were to ever make a reboot, then I hope it's not as bad as All Engines Go and Teen Titans Go.
To be honest, I hope not.
And also Ben 10 and I've
Yeah.
never sat, but literally have no words except for this awful 2023 Scooby-Doo reboot, which is, you know, what see what I'm coming from in main Manuel.
Yes.
It's Velma. You know what? You know what? I'm just not gonna even try and mention
Yeah.
it for the rest of the day tomorrow. Instead, I'll just much rather talk about, listen, or even then
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm still listening. Very
then
interesting.
make some Owl House, Trains, Thomas, Loud House, and Baby Gravity Falls a tie between Star Force of even one Level Senior Trooper, which both of these two are on sixth place of my all-time favorite TV shows. And we know Simpsons, eighth is Looney Tunes, ninth is Family Guy, and tenth is Tom and Jerry, and first is Owl House, second is Thomas, third is Loud House, fourth is Amphibian, and fifth is Gravity Falls. And also, don't forget, also Gene talking about seeing and making also Fairly Odd Parents, Grin Adventures, Billy Mandy, High Performing Mimi, Imagine Friends, Danny Phantom, ML, My Little Ponies, Crush Your Girls Can Possible, Unikitty Help, Snuggle Plus, Top Cat, Huckleberry Hunt, Yogi Bear, Flintstones, Suggestions, Stonks to Smurfs, well, Old Fish Dog, Mike, Miguel, Arthur, don't forget The Story Keepers, Dr. Workshop, 51 Pangos, VeggieTales, Donkey Olive, Veggies and Odyssey, Beetle Bear, Ellie, and my birds, the Greatest Adventure Stories from the Bible, Hello Boss Husband Hotel, Inside Kevin Get the Hell Beavis and Butthead, don't forget F's Family, Sexual Kind, Go Animate, Content 2, instead of this abysmal say thanks to this in the absolute worst Scooby 2023 early to mid January 2023 Scooby Doo reboot, which is Velma. You
Yes.
agree?
Yes, I do
And
agree.
don't forget to mention that that is also P2 McCorders getting selected for New Build, which is an A full nose replica of number 2001 Coco the North, and and uh, and also and also I'm gonna show you how to stream. That's the
Yes.
in my P2 McCall. Roach Wolf of Bat Rush. But I'll show you the streamlined A from the replica of number six of Cock North, but they may actually build one. That's it. And also number 2007 Prince of Wales, Manuel, which I
Hmm.
can't wait to see. And if you actually go to the Night Kingdom, would you mind seeing this locomotive, Manuel?
If I was going to the UK, yes, yes, of course I want to see that
Maybe in the
locomotive.
not distant future, because the PT might be completed around the time if you actually have the money to go to the UK one. Once you're
Well,
around
if I have the money enough for the UK, then yes, I
27
would
years
definitely
old,
see these kind of
like me,
engines. Yes.
along with other new build steam locomotives.
Yep.
from the United Kingdom, and also a few from America. And America needs to have new build steam engines besides the Pennsylvania Railroad T1 5500 class number 5550.
Hmm.
If Railroads are extreme small take it to extreme, then they would build every single of their favorite extinct American steam locomotives, sometimes even Canadian and Australian.
Honestly,
And two,
Canadian, both
and
both
seriously,
Canadian
why
and
the heck are
American
you
are
gonna
both
want to
proud
say
with their technology
Slash
stuff. To
twos
be
and the
honest,
and Vetus 80/1 and Vetus/2s in the Pacific form? And well, it's because you would want to undo what Thompson did and convert back to Peter McCarter's to Peter McCarter's 262 Prairie types. Here, at least we're getting two replicas in return. And as for number 4470 Great Northern Inn, number 9025 on 06 AK 7 AK 2507 aka number 96, which is the Grizzly 8 LNER Grizzly 83 460 Pacific, nicknamed Papyrus, with the 108-mile-per-hour record. Those locomotives should deserve a new build, and these two of Grizzly Pacific duo of Grizzly these fallen Grizzly Pacifics could have made it if they had been saved like Scotsman. And
that's
also and also that should, and if someone were to have the money to resurrect these steam locomotives, it would be nice.
yeah,
And
that would be
that's
definitely nice.
how
You know, that would be
Papyrus looks
definitely
like Manuel.
yeah. I agree. Literally, I do agree.
And that's how Flying Scotsman looks like in Tom. And
Honestly, he
also
does.
Flying that's Flying Scotsman too, my one all-time favorite British steam locomotive in the entire world. And also I like it with the smoke deflectors with its original grit LNER apple green livery instead of this uh, ugly business mostly in the absolute worst British railways green because as in my honest opinion I don't like British railways green on most steam locomotives, like just like the dark green, they look kind of ugly to me, and sometimes you lose your appetite, right, Manuel, when you see BR green on any locomotives. But for me, sometimes it does to me, and I just go, ugh. And this was also my childhood locomotive. The start playing it in Microsoft Train Simulator from 2021 2009, Manuel. And I also have some different models of the Flying Scotsman in Trains a New Simulator, Trains a New Era, which is pretty great, and also the Thomas two different Thomas and Friends ones. Two Manuel. And also I'm gonna show you the one from Thomas and Friends one. And
Yep,
also
I'm
the
here.
Railway series book.
Yeah, the Railway
That's
series
fine.
books. Yeah, I might
That's the
get
one from
that
the
because like
Railway
I'm trying
series,
to
and that's
get
the
that.
one
You
from
know,
Thomas. That's the Wooden Railway one. But I can imagine if Wooden Railway would actually make a Flying Scotsman like this. But we all know what happens. Why this did happen. It's because of Mattel with this all engines go rebuild. New build.
honestly, yes, that was just something that I don't.
I can't believe what
I
Mattel
just
is
think that
doing.
like, why
But
would they
if
do
it
it?
actually sells Thomas, and if Hasbro can actually fix Thomas, then it would undo what Mattel did and get rid of Neon silent cheesing that spectacular thing could presumably clean Dublin cheeses
Let's
gathering
hope
the
they do
absolute
it.
bestly
Honestly,
get rid of the Nia and Rebecca and all just an all in skull reboots. Now I can't show you the all engine score of Flying Scotsman because of how much hatred we have on it. And there's also
yes,
a Flying Scotsman with there's also a Flying Scotsman diesel locomotive with the BR Class 55 Deltic. Hold on. Just don't know why the internet keeps going away with this nonsense, newfangled nonsense. doesn't want to let me show the Flying Scotsman with the BR Clive Deltic.
Yes. Yes. Well, is this the end of the live stream? Because like we did so many people, to be honest. I think it's already 20 of them. I'm just thinking about it. Honestly, it's a shame that in the model series of Thomas, the Flying Scotsman was never revealed. You know, it just only
Thought about
appeared in tenders and engines. Honestly,
Flying
that was like
Scotsman
literally.
much more better. Well, that's
Yes.
its tender.
Honestly, I'm actually surprised that in the Railway
Enough about
series,
the
he has
engines.
two
What if they actually
tenders.
did? But if
What's going on? Uh, Malaysia?
friends
You
see
good? Oh, there you go.
this great race movie because
This movie, yeah.
the unlucky
Yeah, Lucky Tug made that video
you
about it. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, anyways, I sadly have to go now because my mom's telling me to go to sleep now because of school. Uh, See you later, Alicia. Bye.
one of the top 20 worst people of all time. Hope you all enjoyed it too. Hopefully I'll get to see you some of these days in the not too distant future. And we're planning on doing a part 2 next time in the not too distant future of the top 20 worst people of all time, where we talk more about the Kardashians, including some other bad rappers just like Takashi 69, Young Thug, and Gunna, and Tory Lanez, and this YouTuber. First, Daddy05, I hate everything too. And don't forget some worst TikTokers out there. And we're not gonna hit any princess of high ministers and king, prince and princesses, and don't forget some world leaders too. And we'll mention more bad worst serial killers too, and worst celebrities ever too. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this live stream. Hopefully I'll see you next time where we on this Valentine's Day. So the Chiefs won train guy 49-60. And also I hope you had a wonderful time Super Bowl watching the Kansas City 80 Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Hopefully the Super Chiefs will win next time. Or maybe even next year. Hopefully I'll get and hopefully late in 2 days for this Valentine during our Valentine's Day special we'll be talking about cartoon childhood crushes from our cartoon shows. If we don't have any scorecards, so comes homework. And the Eagles won back in 2018, train guy 49-60. So that's spectacular. That's an incredible, impressive, big dope teasing. Got only the absolute best too. So, anyways, thank you so much for watching this live stream. Hope I'll see you in the next episode. So, bye, and you'll see hasta mañana.